The stamina perk inside of Call of Duty Zombies is probably one of the best perks we have ever seen because, of course, what's not to love about increasing your speed? So in today's video, I decided to hop into Black Ops 6 Zombies and test out every single one of these augments and tell you if they're worth your time unlocking. And I gotta be honest, I might have been sleeping on these for way too long because they are better than I honestly would have ever expected. Before we fully get into the video, if you're brand new here, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road to hitting 50,000 subscribers and we just hit 47k and we're already just 200 subscribers ahead of that, which is absolutely insane. So thank you all so much. If you want to see more Black Ops 6 Zombies content, from augments to just overall weapon testing or anything like that, I'm making daily uploads, so if you want to stick around, definitely be sure to subscribe. And also another thing, as always, if you're wondering how I unlock these augments fast, as the time that I'm making this video, there is a double XP weekend, but the best way to unlock these is essentially play the game and go up to high rounds. Personally, I like to exfil around 21 because around that time your XP kind of starts dropping off from there, but honestly, as long as you just go up really high rounds, you can actually just make pretty solid progress. And also don't forget, you can always save and quit just to double check how far you are in your actual augment progression. Anyway, jumping into the stamina perk, one thing I will say is in this video I will be kind of combining the actual augments together because they can kind of work together. So I'll be jumping from major augment to also minor augment to kind of recommend you the best combinations straight off the bat. So the first major augment that we have is called Free Faller, which is described as becoming immune to fall damage. Now honestly, I will say this straight off the bat, as of right now there is an insane amount of super high spots that you can fall off of, but the ones to mention is at least on Liberty Falls, jumping off the bank, or at least from the spawn room if you ever decide to jump off of there, or in Terminus Island if you jump off of where that huge giant cannon is down to where Deadshot is located. So that is honestly the most popular locations that I would find myself in to, minimize the amount of fall damage that I get. Now actually, the thing that I would recommend for you to combine with this major augment isn't even on Stamina-Up, which is something that I'm going to be doing in a future video, but I might as well mention it in this one, and that is on PhD Flopper. You can put on the Gravity MD augment, and basically that creates an explosion when you jump from high places, which is obviously something that you would want to combine, because if you can jump off of high places and not take fall damage and also create an explosion, then that's a really good combo. Overall, back to the actual Stamina-Up augment, the thing with this one I feel like might actually become really useful later down the line when we have more DLC maps or whatever they decide to release inside of Zombies. So maybe fall damage will become a really annoying thing that if you decide to hop into a certain map, you'll be like, oh okay, I want to put on the Free Faller one, but as of right now I don't really find myself using this one all that much. It's definitely nice to have the limitation of fall damage on it though. Jumping over to our second major augment, it's called the Dasher one, increased tactical sprint duration, and this one is probably my favorite major augment because I find myself using the tactical sprint a lot. I decided to test out the tactical sprint without this actual augment, and it seems to be around 5 seconds that you can actually run around with it. And then if you combine it with the Dasher augment, you can go up to 10 seconds if my calculations were correct. It is definitely an increase in the speed. It isn't a small increase, it almost increases by half if again my calculations were correct. And I find myself definitely really liking using this one because honestly the other major augments aren't as important as I said, and even the third one that we will be getting into. And the one that I recommend for you to combine with this is definitely the Hard Target Minor augment, just because the Hard Target Minor augment is described as while tactical sprinting, projectile damage is reduced. Overall, what I will say about this minor augment is I don't find much use in it, but combining it of course with 10 seconds of tactical sprinting will probably come in handy with the Parasite flying zombies. They shoot projectiles at you inside of the actual boss fight on Terminus Island. There's a lot of projectiles. I'm pretty sure Mangler's cannons are actual projectiles, so you can kind of limit the amount of damage you take because it doesn't completely remove the damage, it just slightly decreases it. Pretty sure also another thing that is counted into the projectile damage is the Abomination's laser attack. So I honestly would find some use in it, especially if you're going for a high round and not actually camping in one spot and trying to run around with a weapon, which is something I recently tried, and the amount of Manglers that just keep on shooting you is insane. So probably putting the Hard Target and Dasher augments together is your best option. And now moving on to Stalker, or last major augment, which is described as walk faster while aiming. Honestly, it's okay. I don't find myself walking around, or at least concentrating too much on walking around and aiming downside. I did find out that there was a very weird thing that kept on happening to me. Basically, whenever I walked, reloaded, and then aimed downside, I got this weird bump in speed. It's something that I feel like a lot of people might not entirely need, but there are instances where you can obviously train zombies, turn around and want to walk backwards and shoot the zombies. Increasing speed is the preferred option, so so I guess it could come in useful in those kind of scenarios. But again, I would personally recommend for you to just go for the dasher major augment, as tactical sprinting is a big thing that I feel like a lot of us use without even knowing, and having an increase in time is definitely preferred. Now for minor augments with that one, it really doesn't matter which one you'd combine, so let's hop into our last two minor augments. The first one that we have is quarterback, which is described as use equipment while sprinting. Something that I'm I guess a bit confused about, because a lot of people in my previous video told me that equipment is counted as your field upgrade and also your armor plates, and I'm not entirely sure if this one is bugged out, but no matter what I did, I never really noticed a huge difference in being able to actually activate those things while sprinting. Sprinting and tactical sprinting is kind of like a big difference now. If you tactical sprint, it actually feels like the sprint, but the sprint just feels like you're just walking faster. And then walking, I never walk, I always run around the entire place. So I don't know, maybe you do get to activate it if you ever want to run away from a zombie and re-armor plate. This one will be a really good one, but I really didn't find myself in scenarios that I tried to get into as much as I could for this video just to fully test it. Also, if you're planning to maybe use a Gersh device or also a monkey bomb, this could come in handy, just because you can, you know, sprint and activate and then throw it away if you want to. Obviously the monkey bomb does take quite some time. And for our last minor augment, we have Hotfoot, which I will be honest, at first I was a bit skeptical, but I think this augment has really grown on me, because when you throw down a grenade or anything equipment wise, when you kill a zombie, you get a speed boost. That's essentially the description. You basically get a speed boost when you get an equipment kill, and oh my god, it is really fast. And I could see this being used as a strategy, if used efficiently, to get around maps really fast, to do speedrun Easter eggs, or if you just want to get from point A to point B. It is quite incredible, and I'm happy that I actually went in and tested it out for myself to actually test it, because at first I was like, oh, it's barely any speed, but if you really pay attention, it is a good distance and it's actually quite fun to use it. The only downside that I can see with this is you won't be really using your equipment all that much. Again, it could be your field upgrades. It doesn't really count with like frenzied guard kills when the zombies actually die from the explosions of frenzied guards augment. So it's a bit of a mixed bag on the equipment side of things, since that is still confusing to me. But if you use grenades or anything like that, it's going to be doing the job, and I really like it. So that's it. Honestly, I'm surprised that I didn't actually test these out before. The first time that I looked at them, I was kind of like, I don't see much use in that. But after actually hopping in and testing it out myself, I can honestly tell you that you should go and level up Stamina-Up as fast as possible, because that dasher major augment is really nice, and any of the minor augments depending on the way you want to play. And I'm really excited to go back and look through all the augments that I've kind of reviewed as of right now. There's still a few left that I have to do, and then like make this list of you should use this and this and this together if you want to, because again, this was the first time that I've ever looked back on PhD, but that's just because I've reviewed PhD already. So if you want to check that video out, it is on the channel. I'll be creating a playlist whenever the series is completely over. And again, I gotta thank you all so much for all the love and just attention these videos are getting. It is mind-boggling. I hope this sticks around. I feel like it's kind of in the moment, but that's okay. We're just gonna keep on grinding and making more augment videos, weapon reviews as I said, and just overall Black Ops 6 content, because I freaking love this game. So if you want to see more of that content, definitely be sure to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.